So you say you want to become that girl, confident, consistent, disciplined. But do you even know what's standing in your way? I need you to understand that the gap between where you are today and the woman you want to become isn't effort. It's awareness. You can't just manifest your way into building your dream life, okay? It takes strategy, and today, we're building yours. Hi, I'm Angel, and welcome back to Cool Girl BootCamp, the reset series that's going to carry you through the rest of this year. Now that we know the difference between who we were and who we're becoming, the next question is, how do we actually get there? Today, we're going to break down your life into 4 parts: your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Or, as the corporate girlies call it, a SWOT analysis. Now, you're probably wondering, Angel, what is a SWOT analysis? Basically, I want you to think of this as your quarterly planning session to get your life together. A SWOT analysis is a business tool that we use to identify what's working, what's not working, and where we should really put all of our focus moving forward. And even more important than the what is the why. Most of us set our goals from emotion. We want to look better, we want to feel better, we want to be better. But we rarely stop to understand why what we're doing isn't already working. You can't build your dream life if you don't understand the foundation that you're standing on, that you're building off of. This framework helps you to identify your strengths so you can build on them, your weaknesses so you can support them, your opportunities so you can chase after them, and your threats so you can minimize and mitigate them. So make sure to grab your planner, your notebook, whatever works for you, and we're going to do this step by step, starting with your strengths. Before we can even begin talking about the things that need improvement, let's talk about the things that are already going well for us. Your habits, your routines, your qualities that are already the glue that's keeping your life on track, even when you don't give them the credit that's due. A lot of times we only want to focus on the things that we're not doing well. We don't ever want to focus on our strengths. So take this opportunity to pat yourself on the back for a job well done. These are those parts of you that show that you can be consistent, that you're following through, that you're showing up for yourself, even on your bad days. We would not be the woman that we are today without the woman that we used to be, and we need to give her credit for showing up and getting us where we are today. As we begin to go through our journal prompts, I really want to encourage you to slow down and take the time that you need to answer these questions with quality answers. Sometimes the first thought that comes to our head is just what we've conditioned ourselves to believe. I really want you to slow down and ask yourself those deeper questions. Why do I feel like this is my biggest strength? Has this been what's been conditioned into me? Have people been telling me that this is my biggest strength? What do you feel is your biggest strength? Not just what society has told you. And when we talk about our achievements, they don't have to be our biggest goals, right? Little by little, a little becomes a lot. And we would never achieve these goals if we didn't take these smaller steps. So allow yourself to really tap in and acknowledge the little things that got you where you are. Now with that, first question I have for you, what qualities do you have that you are proud of? Are they qualities you've always had? Are they qualities that you've really worked hard to implement into your daily routine? What are they? And I don't want just one. Give me your 5 best qualities, because I know when it comes to celebrating and talking positively on ourselves, that's when we start skimping out. No, I want 5. Top 5. Not just 1. 5 or more. You can go above and beyond. And most importantly, what is one thing that you've done every day, every week, every month, like clockwork, because you know it's what's best for you? Not everything that we have to be consistent with in life is going to be our favorite things, right? Like I hate working out. Making that a consistent thing in my daily routine it's not a priority. But what is it for you? Now that you have your list of everything that you've compiled, I want you to take a deep breath and just thank yourself for showing up today. You've just proven to not only yourself, but to me, that you have the momentum and the self-love to grow and to push yourself forward, to become the woman that you've always wanted to be. And that's the energy that I need you to keep with us for the rest of this video. It's easy to start looking down on ourselves and to think of more negatives than positives. But at any time in this video where you start to think more negatively than positively about yourself, I want you to go back to this page, reread what you said, and take that energy to push forward. Okay, now let's talk about the part that no one really wants to talk about, which is our weaknesses. I want you to remember that your weaknesses are not flaws. They're just areas that we can improve, areas that we can be better, the things that are holding us back. How do you want to become the woman of your dreams in the future if you're not even willing to let go of the things that are holding you back in your present? It sounds like you're not taking yourself seriously. Think of your weaknesses as little reminders telling you, hey, We need a little bit more love here. We need a little bit more support in these areas. Not everything has to be negative. It's all perspective. So instead of judging yourself, I want you to be curious. I want you to dig deep and ask yourself those questions of why. Why do I feel this way? What habits are keeping you in a cycle, a negative cycle that you want to get out of? Whatever it is, naming it, bringing awareness to it, calling it out, making it come to center stage. It is not a weakness, it is wisdom. By bringing awareness to something, you can take action towards it. When you act like everything's perfect, when you don't allow yourself the gift of reflection, you are self-sabotaging. If you learn anything from me as your internet big sister, self-sabotage, talking down on yourself, that is the ultimate theft of joy. You do not need to be your number one hater. Once you ditch the rose-colored glasses, once you start being honest with yourself, you can finally create the systems that you need to make your life easier. So take a deep breath and be honest with yourself. I only want 3 lines of your journal to be full with these questions, okay? We do not need to deep dive into every little nitty-gritty aspect of our life because that is called self-hatred. That is not self-love. The goal here is to focus on awareness, bringing these things to light, to the forefront of your mind, so you can turn your weaknesses into strengths, so you can improve them. Stop pretending that your weaknesses don't exist and allow yourself the opportunity to improve and address them one at a time so they can go from weaknesses to strengths. I want you to ask yourself, what is one thing that is draining your energy or your time? What patterns are keeping you stuck? What are the cycles and the characteristics about yourself that no longer fit the narrative and are holding you back from the woman you want to become? And most importantly, I'm going to hold your hand when I ask you this question because I know you're not going to want to answer it, but I promise you, I'm here to do what's best for you. What is one area of your life that you are self-sabotaging, where you are procrastinating your own growth, where you are holding yourself back? Remember, the point of this is not to call yourself out to feel bad. You're calling yourself up on your honesty. You're holding yourself accountable because growth doesn't start with perfection. It starts with awareness. Say it with me. Growth doesn't start from perfection. It starts with awareness. Thank you guys. You're doing great. I really appreciate you coming today. And now that it's written down, now that it's in our journal, shake it off. It can't hold you back now because you've made it a conscious choice to overcome. See how easy that was? That was the hard part. You faced your fears. You faced the demons. Now it's ready for a takedown. Now that we've talked about where you shine and where you're struggling, let's open the realm of possibilities. Let's talk about what's next for you. This section is all about opportunities. The things that are around you right now that could really elevate you and help you enter the next chapter of your life if you would just slow down and recognize the blessings that are in front of you. Yeah. Not all opportunities are going to be loud and in your face. Some things are slower. Some things are a little bit more subtle. Like, hey, this might be your moment. Hey, this might be something that you should take serious. This should be when you lock in. The opportunities are endless. You just have to be able to recognize them when they approach you. Small choices, small actions are what leads us to bigger change later on. A little becomes a lot. And sometimes you just need to take the first step in the right direction. Meet the right person. Take a chance on yourself. Believe in yourself. The key here with opportunities, the key here with growth is that you have to stay open-minded. Are you open-minded? You have to stay curious. You have to stay inquisitive and trust that you're on the right path. Trust that your life would not leave you behind. So I want you to think, what is available to you in this season of life? Now, for me, fall and winter bring stillness. I slow down and I reset. Because I'm traveling less and I'm doing less, I can explore more about the things that I'm the most passionate about. So for me, and maybe it's because I'm born in February, winter is like a rebirth. When the snow starts coming down, everything feels fresh and new and like I can handle it all. So what does it look like for you? What opportunities are around you in this season of life? With work, maybe school, friendships, relationships. Those 8 segments of life that we talked about last week. Which one can you focus on a little bit more in this season of your life? What could you do to lean in a little bit more to the woman that you're becoming? What actions would she take? What can you do now to to set you up for success later, to build a new pillar to add to the foundation of who you are, to bridge that gap to your future, and to be a little bit more almost messy, a little. What is one door that you could walk through this fall that would change the trajectory of your entire life? You nervous? Me too. What is one thing that you could do differently, even if it scares you a little? When you put the faith in yourself to go after something new, you are expanding your horizons into the unknown. There's new people that you'll meet, new connections, new opportunities, all those things that you were blind to before come into vision, 2020, when you allow yourself to take a step in a new direction. Allow yourself in the season of life to tap into those fears, tap into those goals, tap into those aspirations, because you never know what will happen if you just trust yourself. And these opportunities, they don't have to be life-changing. They could be big or they could be small. I just want you to be intentional about the life that you're building. Okay, where are we at? The big thing that I want you to remember here is that you don't have to chase every single opportunity that comes your way. You just have to recognize what opportunities are meant for you. And the best way to do that is to be really in tune with who you want to become. These exercises, the reason that I get on here every single week and work through Cool Girl BootCamp with you is so that way you are prepared and you have the skills necessary and the discernment to what your future is going to look like, what decisions and actions are right for you, and only you know that. No one that is in your life is better in tune with who you are than you. So trust yourself. When you start saying yes to the opportunities that are more in line with you and who you are, that's when growth begins. Now that you have identified the opportunities that are pulling you into the next chapter that you want to become, we need to focus in a little bit more on ways to protect our energy. Now we're going to talk about something that's a little less glamorous, which is our threats. These are those little things in life that can completely derail you and change your trajectory if you do not recognize them. This can look like distractions, energy sucks, lack thereof boundaries, the old versions of you that you rely on when you get uncomfortable with who you're becoming. Now, I don't want to almost scare you or insert a sense of paranoia, because we get enough of that of our day-to-day lives. I want you to be protective of the woman that you're becoming. When you start working on yourself, when you start becoming the woman that you've always wanted to be, you will attract noise, whether you ask for it or not. When you start changing, when you start growing and glowing and thriving, you will hear different opinions, expectations of you that others have put onto you, old and self-destructive habits that come out when you start self-sabotaging, when you think you're doing too good for your own britches. And the truth is, everything is going to want to bring you back to what's familiar. But you don't want familiar. You want new. You want growth. You want better than what you have. So you have to be able to separate yourself from the noise. Think of it as a reality check. The truth of growth. What, or maybe even who, could knock you off of the track and the trajectory that you're on right now? Who, or what, tends to steal your energy, your focus, your confidence? We need our confidence to get through this section of our life. And I'll be honest, I think there are some people in our life who do not want to see us grow out of the bubble that they have put us in. They don't understand your growth. They don't see your vision. They don't see your trajectory. So they try to shut it down. Sometimes when we dive into so many new opportunities at once, we're faced with burnout, with comparison, the belief that we're not doing it good enough, so we might as well not do it at all. Have you ever been there? Allow me to be the first person in your circle to tell you that it is worth it. And I'm not telling you that you need to eliminate every single distraction tonight, right? I'm not. Let's be fucking for real. You just have to see them. I just want you to have awareness of the things that are holding you back. Once you name your threats, once you see your ops, they lose their power. They lose their control. These prompts are going to hit a little bit closer to home because I want you to recognize your threats as what they are, and I want you to be genuine about them. I don't want you to, when you know what and who, I'm going to keep emphasizing that who is working against you, the better prepared you are to combat it. And most importantly, what external pressures or habits could block your progress if you're not careful? What are those things that can make you revert back into the woman that you're growing out of without you even recognizing it? Take this time to set some boundaries. Reflect on who you are and what boundaries would benefit you if they were in place today. And you don't owe anybody an explanation. You don't owe anybody anything because this is your life. When you are making these changes, when you are identifying the threats to who you are, nobody owes you anything. If someone doesn't like the person you're going into, that's a them problem. That is not a you problem. You don't have to wear the weight of the world and the weight of the world's expectations on your shoulders. You are allowed to do whatever the fuck you want to do, in case you needed to hear that today. You are allowed to prioritize yourself in this season of life. You are allowed to make yourself a priority. You deserve it. You've been through enough. Take this moment to look back at everything we've discussed today. You just built the blueprint for success. It's in your fingertips. So what are you going to do with it? This is where most people stop. The whole point of this list, the whole point of us checking in today was for you to take the things that you've learned and to apply them to your everyday life. So, in order to make this work for you, let's start by connecting the dots. Let's look back at our strengths. How can you use your strengths to support your weaknesses? How can you play into the things that you are great at to lift yourself up and to fix those loose hanging fruits? Is it loose hanging or low hanging fruit? I don't know, but I think you got the message. The next thing I want you to do is compare your opportunities to your threats. What can I say yes to? Where can I set boundaries in my life to make me feel more aligned? Now that we've done that, I want you to look over all of your notes and I want you to pick one area to work on this week. Just one thing from each section. There's enough weeks in the rest of this year for you to do one different thing every single week. You don't have to do it all today. Now, before I let you run loose, I do want to talk about some mistakes and errors, per se, that I see people make when it comes to implementing a SWOT analysis. This applies both in my corporate life and as your internet big sister, so let me walk you through it. This is not about perfection. It is about perspective. It is about progress, and it's about realignment. Understanding who you are. Understanding why you do the things you do. Why you do them the way you do. And how you'd like to do them differently. And why you want to be different. Why you want to grow. Why you want to be better. Do you only want to be better because everyone in your life is telling you to be better? Or do you want to grow for yourself? And there's nothing wrong with being confident and being comfortable in the stage and the season of life that you're in. Mistake number 2 is trying to fix everything at once. You don't need to overhaul your life just because you got motivated from my video. Pick one area of life and be consistent. It is so much easier to focus in on one change every day, every hour, every week than 5. And the most important thing is allow yourself the gift of reflection. What we wrote down today, I am hoping gets you to 2026. Now, once 3 months has gone by, I am under the interpretation that you are going to be a completely different woman. And what we wrote down today probably will need to be revised. And revision is okay. It is okay to create a game plan, create a template, a blueprint that does not work out. The more awareness that we have of who we are, our goals may shift. The version of you that you created today may look completely different than the version of you next month. And that's okay. We are growing. We are elevating. We are changing. Think of this as the roadmap that is going to carry you from the woman that you are today through the rest of 2025 to set you up for success in 2026. And with that, thank you so much for tuning in to week 2 of Cool Girl BootCamp. I hope that I was able to help you figure things out in one way or another. If you need anything from me, leave a comment in the description below, and I'll see you next week with another video. I love you. I mean it. Bye, guys.